Eddie v Dana, you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, it's Eddie v Ben Shaloms. Like, it's just not. But
Shalom,
Frank,
not Shaloms.
Frank against Shalom,
Yeah.
that's a little bit more interesting because I quite like watching it as well. And Frank, again, Shalom can't lace Frank Smith's boots. Frank Smith's an unbelievable operator, and I do give him a hard time, but he's like on another level of smart, and I've got the mouth, and yes, I'm a storyteller, yes, I'm a salesman, yes, I'm 6'4", carved out of stone, might be the next James Bond, but Frank Smith.
Box anybody, come on. Eddie Hearn boxing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He said he would. He said and he said it'd spark you out.
Listen, if that's what, then fly out here, we'll go over to the Apex and we can box. And last night, Callum Walsh was telling me, he's like, we were power slapping, he's like, this thing would be, you should do it. I'll fight in the undercard. I said, you'll fight in the undercard. If two bums like us were going to do that, we'd be the first prelim of the night. It would be disrespectful to every guy who's a real fighter on that card to be under us.
Yeah, so what happened, it's a tough one again, but basically we kind of split it, me and Frank, and obviously on the 31st of
Eddie Hearn has finally given fans another exciting update about the long-awaited Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury showdown. It may not be the official announcement everyone wants just yet, but it's proof that serious conversations are happening behind the scenes. That's where the story gets interesting. While many people thought this dream fight was completely dead, Eddie continues working to make it a reality. The reaction surprised everyone because Hearn has never stopped believing this fight belongs on the biggest stage in boxing. If anyone can help bring these heavyweight giants together, it's the promoter who has spent years trying to make it happen.
This will definitely be my signature victory for me because I will put on a beautiful show, get the knockout and come back home with two belts, to be the new unified WBO, WBA Super RT champion of the world.
Those are the words of someone expecting complete domination. Eddie Hearn clearly believes his fighter has everything needed to deliver a spectacular performance and bring more championship belts back home. But this is where things get crazy. Confidence like this creates enormous expectations, and fans will now expect nothing less than a statement victory.
He got 2 belts, he got what I want, and I'm going to take it. So, yeah, that's the best part, and that's going to be the most funnest part because he got what I want, and I'm taking him, Saturday night, and this is my night. It's my night to show out and have fun and put on a show.
Sure.
Eddie Hearn's confidence couldn't be any clearer. This isn't just about collecting belts. It's about making a statement to the entire boxing world. That's when the mood completely changed because champions don't just want victories, they want unforgettable performances. Eddie believes this is exactly the type of night that can remind everyone why his fighters continue competing at the highest level.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, contractually, it's a fight that these guys needed to make for him because boots tennis is a commodity that a lot of people would be aspiring to have. So they've made this fight and created this opportunity for him. I'd like to see him fight Josh Kelly. I'd like to see Josh Kelly do his job. Eddie's got another opportunity there to make another unification circumstance. He's won world titles by being handed them to some extent. He didn't win his first world title at welterweight because it was a vacated belt, but he did go and win 2 fights there.
Yep.
He will, I think, beat Zayas on the weekend, beat him compelling, and we'll all see how good he is. But to say that he is, listen, I'm not going to just pick a fight with Eddie for the sake of picking a fight, but to say...
That'd be unlike you.
No, because more often, I only pick fights with you tell lies, and you do that quite often. But the fact of the matter is that this is a generational great fighter in the waiting.
Yeah. Boxing experts are already looking beyond the immediate fight because they believe Eddie Hearn is building something much bigger. They see another potential unification, another championship opportunity, and possibly another future superstar under Eddie's guidance. But that's not the biggest issue. The real story starts here. Great promoters don't just organize fights. They build careers and create legacy. That's exactly why Eddie Hearn continues earning respect throughout boxing. While Dana White is only beginning his boxing journey, Eddie has spent years developing champions and turning talented fighters into global stars. That's experience you simply can't replace, and it's one of the biggest reasons many fans still believe Matchroom remains one step ahead.
Here's the clip.
Guy, Eddie Hearn, whom I love,
you know, and I respect him. And you know, I saw him today. He's out there talking smack. He's like,
I want to compete against Dana White. I want to prove that I'm much better than him as a boxing promoter.
I look forward to Dana's wrong. He can't do this. And what's he doing that's different? Everybody's doing the same thing. And I look forward to competing against him to show that I'm the best boxing promoter in the world. I look forward to it too, Eddie. I can't wait. I love this stuff.
This is no longer friendly competition. It's a battle for boxing's future. Dana White respects Eddie Hearn, but respect disappears the moment business is involved. Eddie immediately fired back, making it clear that he has no intention of giving up his place at the top of boxing promotion. That's where the controversy exploded. Dana believes his UFC success can be repeated in boxing, while Eddie believes years of experience, relationships, and delivering the sport's biggest events give him a massive advantage. The reaction was impossible to ignore because both men openly welcomed the challenge instead of avoiding it. Fans now have two heavyweight promoters ready to compete for the biggest stars, the biggest fights, and ultimately the future of boxing itself.
I doubt it. No, I mean, they're not in line for it to be for a belt. Maybe, you know, we'll see what happens after their fights. But I think it's an interesting move from Usyk. I haven't read the full stuff, but he's saying he's just going to have one more fight. Is that right? I presume that'll be the Rico rematch. I don't know, but obviously, rather than kind of have all these mandatories, I think he's got the Caballero decision. I think he's probably just thought, you know what, guys, go and fight for the championships, which I think is exciting. You know, I think it's obviously going to throw up a lot of new heavyweight world champions, and I think that'll be a great era for the sport, those guys unifying against each other and seeing what's going to spit out in terms of champions.
If you were managing Usyk, what fight would you want him to have?
Rico rematch in Amsterdam, unquestionable. Right?
Joshua will now be in the mix for a heavyweight title opportunity, right?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, and not unfortunately, but because we've signed an agreement to be in fights with Brenger and Fury, we can't put ourselves forward in those fights. I think there may have been an opportunity to fight Frank Sanchez, but obviously we're fighting on July 25th and we're fighting Tyson Fury, so we can't be available for that. But you know, we want to win those fights. In 2027, Josh wants to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship, so this will free everything up to do that.
Eddie Hearn's comments have completely reignited hope for Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. If Alexander Usyk really walks away after one final fight, the entire heavyweight division could be blown wide open. But this is where things get crazy. Instead of endless mandatory defenses delaying everything, the biggest names could finally battle for vacant world titles. That's exactly why Eddie sounds so optimistic. He isn't promising anything yet, but he can clearly see the opportunity developing. The reaction surprised everyone because fans had almost given up on ever seeing Joshua and Fury share the ring. Now, for the first time in a long while, that dream fight suddenly feels realistic again. While Dana White is busy talking about changing boxing, Eddie Hearn is quietly working on making the fights fans have demanded for years. That's the difference between talking about the future and actually helping to build it.
He's an unbelievable talent. He works extremely hard, but he is a showman and he has unbelievable talent. So when you walk out, there's a lot of people, we have 15,000 in there on Saturday, it'd be wild. A lot of those people are boxing fans. They know Ben Whittaker. And some of those people that are casual fans don't. But what he has is the personality to grab your attention.
Right.
And the fight style to grab your attention.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. That's what I said about Boots as well. A lot of people don't just want to go and watch these defensive.
Eddie Hearn understands exactly why Anthony Joshua remains one of the biggest attractions in world boxing. It isn't just about championships anymore. Joshua has that rare ability to capture the attention of both hardcore boxing fans and casual sports viewers at the same time. That's where the controversy exploded. Critics often focus on his losses, but they ignore everything else he brings to the sport. Joshua fills arenas, creates unforgettable moments, and always delivers excitement whenever he steps into the ring. The reaction was impossible to ignore because Eddie wasn't simply praising his fighter. He was explaining what makes a true superstar. Fighters with personality, charisma, and explosive styles are incredibly rare, and Joshua still possesses every one of those qualities. That's exactly why Eddie remains confident that a Tyson Fury showdown would become one of the biggest events in British boxing history, regardless of whether a world title is on the line.
Whenever I come over to the States, I kind of get the feeling that maybe the audience has disengaged a little bit with boxing over the last 10 to 20 years.
100%.
So,
and it's what everybody says, whether it's the Eddie Hearns or the Shake Turkey or any of them. America's a different market. It's a tough market to figure out. You know what I mean? It is definitely fizzled out over here over the last several years. So, listen, right now, again, nobody has a television deal, right? The Zone's doing some fights, but I will have a television deal. I'll figure it out, and I will announce it ASAP, and I will start my thing in 2026, and boxing will be on television regularly now in the United States.
Dana White clearly recognizes Eddie Hearn's success in America, but there was also a competitive edge behind his words. He knows Eddie has already built major boxing events in the United States, something that takes years of relationships, experience, and trust. But that's not the biggest issue. The real story starts here. Dana wants to prove he can dominate boxing just like he dominated mixed martial arts. Eddie, meanwhile, has already spent decades learning every corner of the boxing business. The reaction surprised everyone because instead of avoiding each other, both men seem excited by the challenge. Eddie has nothing to fear because he's already proven he can promote global superstars like Anthony Joshua. Dana still has everything to prove before he can honestly claim to be boxing's #1 promoter.
Chance of an 8th bout in the ring between you and Eddie Hearn?
How old's Eddie Hearn? How old's Eddie? In his 40s or something?
He's a big unit. He'd probably fancy himself.
Yeah, he's huge.
He did box
like
his,
6'5".
He did box his, he boxed his dad. Who do you think would win if you had a fight? Who would win?
Put it this way: that would have to be like a Jake Paul Netflix card, okay? Or we could both fight Jake Paul. We're in his age bracket of guys he likes to fight.
Eddie has a 10-year advantage over you. He's got the youth, but you are Dana White. If it actually happened, who would win?
Listen, if Eddie wants to box, we can box. We can box if Eddie wants to box. I don't think Eddie wants to box.
Would you be confident?
Yeah, back in the day, I used to box with all the guys, boxers and UFC guys. I have boxed.
So if Eddie Hearn's up for it, you're on for it.
Absolutely.
That statement perfectly sums up Eddie Hearn's mindset. He isn't intimidated by Dana White's reputation because he spent his entire career building Matchroom into one of the biggest promotional companies in boxing. But that's not the biggest issue. The real story starts here. Eddie isn't fighting for attention. He's fighting to protect everything he spent years creating. The reaction surprised everyone because instead of acting defensive, he sounded motivated. He knows Dana White will bring fresh ideas and huge publicity, but he also believes experience, relationships, and understanding the boxing business will ultimately make the difference. One thing is certain: neither promoter plans to back down, and boxing fans could be the biggest winners if this competition pushes both men to deliver even bigger fights.